Today is the last day that you will ever feel like you need to hide, shrink, or play it safe in your energy ever again. It's time for you to become one of those women who just feels magnetic. A woman who walks into the room and all eyes are on her. Not because she's loud and not because she's doing the most, but because her nervous system is regulated, her body language is grounded, and her softness feels safe. Now here's the secret. She's not just born that way. She's mastered something that I so wish they had taught us in school, which is how to rewire your brain and your body to feel calm, confident, and feminine. Today, I'm giving you 11 microhabits that help me stop living in fight or flight and finally reconnect with the most magnetic version of myself. Plus, we'll be talking about a celebrity embodiment for each tip, so you can see the softness that we're rewiring into. Hey girl, and welcome back to our channel, or welcome if you're new here. I'm Monet, your mindset coach and tour guide to your higher self. And if you're not already subscribed, go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you never feel lost or like you have to figure it out all on your own again. For most of my life, I was so focused on being independent and respected and successful that I didn't even realize I had hardened. I was always in my masculine energy. Chasing, doing, holding it all together. I carried every grocery bag in one trip, answered emails at midnight, and never once paused long enough to ask, am I actually letting myself receive? And it wasn't that I was cold, but I wasn't soft either. And in being so capable, I kind of became invisible. There's that subtle disconnection where effort replaces energy that creates this thing where people just don't feel connected to you. And for the record, I am a deep introvert, so I don't want to be the loudest voice or the most popular girl in the room, but I do want to feel grounded and confident and worthy of being seen when I do show up. I want to be able to walk in quietly and still feel like my presence shifted the energy. And that is what feminine magnetism is. It's not performative and it's not about perfection or being extra. It's about the frequency that your body emits when your nervous system feels safe to just be. So let's dive in. Habit number 1 is to begin your day in stillness. Have you ever seen Sofia Richie's Get Ready With Me mornings? They're elegant and quiet and unbothered. She starts slow because softness doesn't rush. The amygdala, which is your brain's threat scanner, goes on high alert as soon as you wake up. So when you reach for your phone or you dive into your to-do list, your body thinks it's time to brace. But when you pause and place a hand on your chest and sit in stillness, even for just 90 seconds, you tell your nervous system, we're safe. Let your body begin the day how you want to feel, which is calm, grounded, and undistracted. Now, to say that I'm not a morning person is an understatement, because your girl is not a morning person at all. So creating a slow morning routine was kind of hard for me because I already want to wake up as late as possible, and I don't want to have to rearrange my entire day because I now have a 40-step slow morning routine. So how I've done this without creating a bigger to-do list than I need is I start my mornings with writing down 3 things I'm grateful for and writing down 1 intention for my day. Now, your intention for your day is different than your to-do list. So my intention for today was to show up confidently. That means showing up in my real life, in my coaching calls, in this video, and feeling confident and not having to second guess myself. But even if I ended up not doing any of those things and I just sat on the couch and felt a little bit more confident, that intention is completely met. So start your morning slow, but that doesn't mean you have to have a 40-step slow skincare routine or anything that makes you feel more stressed. Moving on to habit number 2 is to move like your energy is felt and not forced. If you've ever watched Zendaya at the Met Gala or even just walking any carpet, you know exactly what I mean. She doesn't rush, she doesn't flinch, and her presence moves before she does. And that's not just charisma, that is a regulated nervous system. Because when your body is in fight or flight, you tend to move quickly and tense your shoulders and grip your jaw because your brain thinks that there's something to outrun. That makes your movements a little bit more jerky and abrupt, and it makes you look and feel less elegant. But softness is a safety cue. Slowness tells your brain, I'm not in danger. And that's what others pick up on too. So if your gestures shout effort but whisper no warmth, people can't feel or remember you. So today, try this. Slow your steps by just 10%. And when you're sitting, unclench your jaw and make eye contact and let your face relax. Now, this doesn't mean you need to smile all day, but if you have severe resting bitch face like me, having that awareness not to glare at everything and everyone is key. Once a week, I like to work from a coffee shop, and I've been practicing just noticing how my face is at rest. Even something as simple as closing every drawer and door like you're handling something sacred is going to make you look more elegant. And that's how you become someone who walks into a room and shifts the energy without saying a word. Habit 3 is signal that it's safe to be seen. There's something about Anne Hathaway that's just timeless, especially her signature red lip. It's not flashy and it doesn't feel like she's trying to prove anything. It's just undeniably her. Visibility can feel vulnerable, especially if you've ever been told that you were too much or you learn to protect yourself by blending in. But your brain learns through symbolic cues. So even swiping on a red lip or wearing something just a little more romantic than usual, like lace, silk, a hair bow, or a neckline that feels a little softer, tells your subconscious that it's safe to be seen in your feminine energy. Quick beauty rituals anchor the brain in safe visibility. Something as simple as putting on a lip oil that makes you feel pretty makes a huge difference. So tomorrow, dress not for who you've had to be, but for who you're becoming, which is an elegant, confident, magnetic woman that people can't help but notice. Habit number 4 is to speak slower and let your words land. As a fast talker, this is very hard for me, but let's look at 2 women who have absolutely mastered this. Dakota Johnson is the queen of subtle tension and controlled pauses. It's part of what makes her so funny, is those pauses that she just lets her statement land. Whereas Angelina Jolie brings that low simmer intensity that kind of makes you want to lean in. When you rush through a sentence, ramble, or trail off, your brain is signaling, I don't feel safe. But when you take up space with your voice, slowly, intentionally, you're regulating your nervous system and everyone else's. Causes people to lean in and your cortisol levels to even out. So this week, try saying 1 sentence per day a little slower than usual. Let it rest in the room like you trust it's worth hearing. Because newsflash, it is. Habit number 5 is to use a 3-sense anchor to train your vagus nerve. And I'm going to do a whole video about vagal tone soon, but training your vagus nerve is one of the most impactful things you can ever do in your life. So let's think about Lana Del Rey. Lana doesn't just walk through life, she curates it. Her whole aesthetic is a multi-sensory immersion, and your vagus nerve loves that. Your vagus nerve connects your brain to your heart, your lungs, your gut, and more. And it's activated through multi-sensory input, especially when those inputs are associated with safety and softness. So you know when you look at Lana Del Rey and you just know that she smells warm and woodsy like vanilla or sandalwood, and her voice is that calming, deep and slow, gorgeous, ethereal voice. And her vibe just makes you want to like sit on a cozy bed and watch the fog roll by your window. That's what we're talking about. So to create this for yourself, first choose 1 scent. My favorites are vanilla, sandalwood, and bergamot. And then 1 sound, like a calming playlist or even a sound bowl on YouTube, and 1 texture. So maybe it's your softest robe or your fuzziest blanket. And then take some time today to use them together and make this a consistent part of your routine. Even if you do this for just 2 minutes a day, you're building a neural ritual of regulation. This is why oftentimes yoga studios have incense and low lighting, is they're creating that neural ritual of feeling peaceful and feeling soft and feeling relaxed. Multisensory pairings train your vagus nerve, and when you put in these kind of inputs, it equals peace. Now, habit number 6 is completely the opposite of our peaceful one, and that is to add bilateral movement and a feminine hip sway to your rhythm. Now, you do not need a dance floor to move like Sabrina Carpenter, but if you watch her walk, you'll notice that her hips lead and her presence is fluid. It's not that she performs softness, it's that she is softness. Bilateral movements, which are left-right patterns like walking while swinging your arms, tapping, or eye movement, helps the brain process and discharge stress. This is the same mechanism that is used in EMDR therapy and trauma resolution. So when you pair that with pelvic movement, which helps release tension from your root chakra and your hips, that's when you've got a potent nervous system and energy clearing combo. Try a butterfly hug, which is crossing your arms over your chest and tapping your shoulders left to right. And do this while breathing in slowly. If the butterfly hug is not your vibe, then just sway gently while you're brushing your teeth. Or pay attention, and when you're walking, walk with hip-led rhythm instead of clenching through your core. Bilateral movement clears stress, and pelvic fluidity frees stored emotion. So when you combine those two, you are not only going to look more feminine, you're going to feel safe in your femininity too. Habit number 7 is to give your brain space to reset regularly. Have you ever noticed how Billie Eilish drops an album and then she seems to vanish? She does a few interviews and maybe a red carpet or a performance or two, and then she just completely disappears again. She doesn't overexpose, she doesn't perform all the time. That is her feminine energy. Most of us, I'm looking at you, wait until we're completely burnt out to rest, until our mind and our body demands it. But by then, your brain is fried and your cortisol has tanked and you're in full survival mode. Cognitive load builds all day. It's like browser tabs that you forgot to close. And when you only rest at depletion, that means you're already dysregulated. I want to challenge you to try a 5-minute brain rest each day. This means no phone, no tasks, no pressure, just stillness. Maybe you want to sit outside, maybe you want to sip your matcha, maybe you listen to a song that makes you feel good, or lie down and simply breathe. But mental clarity is feminine energy's secret ingredient. Because when you're clear and rested and calm, you radiate that energy. And when you feel chaotic, you'll notice that you shrink into yourself and you kind of radiate that chaotic energy. Habit number 8 is to receive without apologizing or shrinking. If we look at Sweeney, she is everywhere and she receives attention like it's her birthright. She doesn't flinch when people admire her. She doesn't reject it or explain it. She just receives it. But most of us learned to deflect. So when we're complimented, we're like, oh, this old thing? If we get an offer of help, we always are, no, I've got it. And if somebody wants to support us, we automatically think, I don't want to be a burden. Your nervous system associates receiving with vulnerability. And if vulnerability once felt unsafe, then your body learned to reject it. Receiving is a muscle. And if you keep deflecting, it stays weak, which is why it is so important to practice receiving without editing and without deflecting. So when someone compliments you next, I want you to look them in the eyes and say, thank you. Or if someone offers your help, say yes and then stop talking. It lets your body know that it's safe to let the good things in. Habit number 9 is one of my favorite habits, and that is to create a ritual that says the day is done. If you are not new here, you know I am a Swiftie, but what I love about Taylor is not just that she has this romantic vibe about her, it's that she's a ritualist. Whether it's her candles or her cardigans or the calming routines or hanging out with her cats, she transitions with intention. If you think about the Eras tour, we saw her almost every day for 2 years straight. And then immediately following the Eras tour, she scaled back. She started spending time with her family, she stopped posting to social media, and she transitioned into a slower period. And that is what your nervous system needs to downshift. Cortisol doesn't just drop because you clock out. It doesn't say, oh, it's 5 o'clock, we're fine, we're chill. So if you go from email to dinner to scrolling in bed, that means your body stays braced and it stays on. You need a clear off switch. It can be as simple as closing your laptop slowly, lighting a candle for the end of your day, changing into something cozy, or putting on a grounding playlist. Rituals create portals, and portals regulate your cortisol. When you set the vibe, it tells your brain, hey, We're home, we're safe, and we're calm now. So I set the vibe first, tell my brain what we're about to do, and then let my energy match that. Habit number 10 is to track one tiny moment of magic every single day. Have you ever noticed how Madison moves through life like she's in this quiet conversation with the universe? She romanticizes the in-between and embraces her emotions and lets beauty be part of her daily language. It's why she always looks so stunning and why she has this presence like things are just going to work out for her. And while that might seem a little whimsical, it's actually biological. Your brain has a built-in negativity bias. It's constantly scanning for what's wrong, which makes a lot of sense if you think about evolution. Previously, we needed to be scanning for a threat, for a predator, for another tribe coming to steal our food. But now it's our job to train our brain that it doesn't need to constantly be concerned and scanning for what's wrong. Unless you interrupt that loop, your brain is going to keep you braced and stressed. It's going to keep you ready for things to go wrong, even when everything is going right. Because this is something that we have been wired to do for generations, the way to shift this is through micro support. Spotlighting micro support rewires the brain to expect magic instead of mayhem. So the things you want to start taking note of are things like when you pull into that perfect parking spot, or a green light when you were already running late, or even the idea that popped into your head and solved a problem that you'd been thinking about for weeks. So your challenge is to track one moment of synchronicity or support every single day. Write it down and thank your brain for noticing it. What you're doing here is teaching your brain that softness is safe and that you are supported and life works out for you. Habit number 11 is to leave space for others to contribute. I recently read about Margot Robbie creating a production company. So she doesn't just star in films, she created a production company that allows women to tell their stories, express themselves, and create and be seen in a male-dominated industry. And that isn't just soft power, that's feminine leadership. And in doing this, she's not only creating more opportunities for herself, she's creating opportunities for women who may have not otherwise had the chance to be seen. If you carry 100% of a project, of your life, of everything, others assume that they're not needed. Overfunctioning is a trauma response. And power loves a vacuum. But when you make space for others to rise, or you let someone help, or you let someone plan, or even if you let the universe meet you halfway, you realize that you don't have to do it all to be worthy. But what's more is you get to share in your successes and your wins, and it makes them feel more fulfilling. I know we said it was going to be 11 micro habits, but let's just throw in a bonus. So habit number 12 is to let joy be the main course and not dessert. I love Megan Thee Stallion. I love her so much. And I love that she is so playful and so powerful. She does anime cosplay, she tries the most random new workouts, she plays with her dog like it's a full-time job, and she even talks about changing her wigs to change her personality as an act of expression. Her joy is not a reward, it's just part of her rhythm. And if we look at the neuroscience behind it, pleasure boosts dopamine and vagal tone. So it fuels your energy, it's not just fluff. You don't need a reason to feel good. Feeling good is the reason. So start incorporating more joy into your life, not as a reward, not at the end of a long, hard week, but just for the purpose of having more joy. So pick up that $6 latte, or buy those grocery store tulips, or light your fanciest candle on a random Tuesday. Do the thing that brings you joy as a part of your regular routine, because softness doesn't wait for permission. And joy is a nervous system regulation tool, which leads us to the homework section. As always, choose what resonates and let it be simple, doable, and supportive. This week, I challenge you to start your mornings with 90 seconds of stillness. Just sit there and breathe with no planning, just presence. Assignment number 2 is to move 10% slower through your day. Imagine yourself gliding as you walk instead of rushing. Let your energy arrive first. Third is to track one magical or supportive moment every day. This is going to help rewire your brain to expect alignment instead of chaos. And last but not least is to receive without apology or deflection. Whether it's your roommate or your partner taking out the garbage, or somebody complimenting your shirt, When support comes, simply say thank you and let it land. I would love to know which one of these micro habits are you claiming for the week, so drop it in the comments, and also let me know which celebrity energy you're channeling. Are you in your Sabrina Carpenter sway era, your Billie Eilish brain rest era, or your Megan Thee Stallion joy is a lifestyle moment? And before you go, if this helped you soften, recalibrate, and remember who you really are, send it to a friend who's overdue for her nervous system exhale. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you never feel lost or like you have to figure it out all on your own again. Remember, you are wonderful, wise, and all the good things. And until next time, I will see you next time.